Hey there, this is Andrew bringing you another Keyforge Dark Tidings deck reveal. Ooh, maybe I can just cut it right here. Is that the wrong side? Oh, that's funny. Alright, well, I'll cover this up. Okay, well, okay. Can't, can never open it the right way. Oh well, that's alright. This is a deck, and it has Shadows Unfathomable and Untamed. And it is called The Void That Primally Spoils Defense. That's pretty cool. Yeah, these are I like all these houses. I like everything in Dark Tidings. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So there. So much conversation online about Sats. Sats is never going to be perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. Nobody claims it's perfect. It'll get better over time, and it is wild and crazy when a new set comes out. So it's a good time to get some. If you have something that you think is way overrated, sell it. If you have something that you think is way, or if you see something that you think is way underrated, see if you can buy it for cheap. The fun and crazy time. But yeah, I think we'll see it change over time and should be fun. And it's a very fun set. All right, so let's see. We should be getting shadows first. Ooh, Archon's Revenge. This is a nice one. It's an artifact and ship. Has action, exhaust up to two friendly shadows creatures. For each creature exhausted this way, steal one. I would love to get like some hard Simpsons as well as some ways to deal damage out of hand with this because it's nice to have them be sort of like, I can have them on the board, I can get that initial steal out of them, and then if my opponent doesn't kill them, then I get more steal because of the Archon's Revenge. It just makes it a fun threat. Turns some otherwise boring cards into good threats. Ooh, Little Nif. 2-power Elf Thief with Omega, Deploy, and Elusive. So you can put this anywhere you want, but it's going to be the last thing you do on your turn. You can't play it and then get the value. But it says after a neighbor of Little Nif fights, steal one. Fun trick that I learned with Little Nif back in AOA is even if the creature dies, it still triggers the steal. So you can sometimes if you have several creatures of the same house lined up, you can fight and have it die, fight and have it die, fight and have it die, and get several steals in a row in a non-shadows turn, which is really fun. Stir Up Trouble is an action. When you play it, you choose a creature and one of its neighbors, and each chosen creature deals damage equal to its power to the other. Yeah, that's a cool little way to knock some stuff out. I like it. Cement Shoes. Action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you deal 2 damage to a creature. If this damage destroys that creature, raise the tide. Feels like you could probably kill one creature and soften the other up with Stir Up Trouble, and then finish the other one with Cement Shoes. I've had good luck with this card. Would I rather steal than flip the tide? Maybe, but flipping the tide can be really good. Second Cement Shoes, okay. And then Francis the Economist. It's a 3-power elf thief with skirmish and fight. Each player gains 1. I feel like I like this better in this set than I did in its previous showings. Uh, there's good plinky steal or capture in Dark Tidings, and I felt like I've been able to get good value out of Francis in this set. Jackie Tar is a 2-power elf thief with elusive, and after it reaps, you deal 1 damage to a creature, but if the tide is high, you deal 6 damage instead. This is really nice board control. I really like Jackie. Kerwallop, lots of direct damage here. Sorry if you can hear my dog scratching herself in the background. That's what dogs do. Kerwallop is an action. When you play it, you deal 1 damage to each creature, and you gain an amber for each creature destroyed this way. It's nice. Can be nice. Yeah, I find it to be a little iffy. Very nice if you get it with Hard Simpson, which I'm thinking no. Second Kerwallop, okay. Then we have One-Eyed Willa. It's a 2-power elf thief. While the tide is high, One-Eyed Willa gains elusive and skirmish, and it has fight, steal 1. Yeah, it's a good card. And then Sea Urchin, a 1-power Aquan thief with poison, and play capture one, but if the tide is high, you steal one instead. And we had some ways to raise the tide, so I think there's a good chance we can always make it work if we want, but, or almost always. So not a ton of just straight steal, but remember that Archon's Revenge turns a couple into action steal. I think we're going to get good value out of the Kerwallop. And Sea Urchin, I think, can sometimes get underappreciated a little bit, the value of that poison. Sometimes you can kill big creatures if this gets left on the board. So it's possible to get good value out of that. It also can just be value with the Kerwallop. Another Sea Urchin, nice. All right, on to Unfathomable. I like the shadows here, so let's see what we get Unfathomable. It's Cup of Water is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you stun each cyborg creature and each robot creature. And yeah, cool theme. Could be good, just really depends on your situation. Don't think we're going to see a lot of cyborgs or robots in this deck, so I don't think it's going to hurt us. But just depends on what you're playing against. Killigog's Trench is an artifact, it's a location, and it says at the end of your turn you place one depth counter on it. Then you destroy each creature with power equal to the number of depth counters on it. So this can be a nice way to just progressively clear the board. It's possible to play around it. Of course, it affects both you and your opponent. Um, but yeah, really interesting card. Then we have Abyssal Zealot, a 4-power Aquan that says after you raise the tide, capture 2, and after your opponent raises the tide, you move 2 from it to the common supply. So when it so the if you can get your opponent to raise the tide, then the amber gets evaporated. But probably what they're going to do is just kill it before they raise the tide. Um, so it just kind of turns into you raise the tide and capture 2. So it's okay. It's not yeah, I'm not in love with it. Echo Pearl is a really nice card. It's an artifact with a bonus amber. It's an item, and it has Omni, destroy it, exhaust, stun, and enrage a creature. Exhausting, stunning, and enraging a creature will put it out of commission for a very long time. The minimum 3 turns before it could possibly reap, 2 turns before it could possibly fight, and probably it's just out of commission for the rest of the game. Very powerful effect there to deal with a single creature. Fuguru, very nice. It's a 1-power Aquan with poison, and it says that your opponent refills their hands to 1 less card during their draw card step. It's a nice effect, and it's not as big as say Succubus, but the poison I think really helps, and all the exhaust abilities in Unfathomable can add some value to that. So yeah, I think it's really good. Interesting. We have a lot of 1-power poisons in this deck. Kaup is a 2-power Aquan that says your opponent cannot play more than 1 card of each card type each turn. So the card types are action, artifact, creature, and upgrade. This is really nice. Yeah, if your opponent has like a creature heavy deck, they're going to really struggle to deal with this if you can keep it alive. So, of course, if they have an action that can kill it, they're just going to play that one action and then move on with their life. But if you can protect this, and I don't know that we're going to have a way to protect it here other than just not have them have creatures. But if we can do it, then it could be pretty nice control. Under Pressure, I love it. It's an upgrade with a bonus amber. It says this creature cannot ready. Super good. It's just a really great card. Call of the Void is an action with a bonus amber. When you play it, you exhaust a creature. If it was already exhausted, you destroy it unless its controller loses 1. This can be paired really nicely with Under Pressure. You exhaust it and then make it never ready. That can be worse than destroying, because if you destroy it, they can maybe exhume or something like that. But if you do that to a creature, it's just out of commission until they find a way to kill it. So, of course, the flip side is if that happens to you, you can start maybe capturing amber on the creature, and that'll pressure your opponent to want to kill it. So there's options, but it's really frustrating to have happen to you. Flamegill Enforcer is a 6-power Aquan. It says after your opponent raises the tide, you enrage it. But if it's not enraged, you can action to capture 3, which is a pretty That's a lot of capture, so that's pretty cool. Got two of those, nice. And they're big bodies, so if they get enraged, they can do some serious damage. And then Hookmaster is a 4-power Aquan with 1 armor and fight. If the tide is high, your opponent loses 2. That's a nice effect. And yeah, I like this setup. Seems good. Oh, and then Maelstrom. It's an action. When you play it, you put each creature on top of its owner's deck in a random order and gain 2 chains. So if you're behind, this can be much worse than destroying things in certain contexts. And also, like if you have your sea urchins out, you get the sea urchins back on your deck. So I think there's some good synergy there. I think we're in Untamed now. Yeah. Okay, the best card in Untamed, Bumblebird. Say that tongue in cheek. It's a 1-power beast and insect. It has alpha, and when you play it, you give 2+1 power counters to each other friendly untamed creature. So if you have any out, then boom, you get value. Otherwise, it's not a great card. Ah, Fangtooth Cavern. Interesting. This is an artifact with a bonus amber. It's also a location. It says at the end of your turn, destroy the least powerful creature. That's going to be a little frustrating with like Fuguru and the sea urchins. We have a lot of low power stuff here. But you combine this with the Killigog's Trench, and it's kind of like, okay, we're blowing stuff up, and then we're going to blow up even more. So um, that's kind of crazy. And you can decide what order those fire in. So if your opponent has like 3 5-power creatures and a 6-power creature, and that's all that's on the board, you could, and the Killigog's Trench is going to destroy the 5, you can have that trigger first, and then get the 6 with the Fangtooth. So interesting. That'll be interesting to see how that works out. I think the low power creatures in this deck are going to make it hard, but maybe the Maelstrom just makes up for it, and it ends up great. Instrument of Silence. This would not be bad to put on a Flamegill Enforcer. It's an upgrade, and it says this creature gains Skirmish and Fight gain 1. That way, if your Flamegill Enforcer gets enraged, you can just, okay, cool. I'll just fight and murder stuff and make money. 2 Instruments of Silence. Nice. I like that. We have a Deepwater Gruin. It's a 5-power beast. It has 2 bonus ambers on it, and it has Play Reap. If the tide is low, your opponent gains 1. But of course, if the tide is not low, which means if it's neutral or if it's high for you, then you should be good. And that's a really nice amber ramping card. Mollymawk is a 5-power beast. When you play it, you destroy an artifact. That could actually be interesting. Obviously, you can destroy your opponent's artifact, but it'd be an effective way to deal with the Fangtooth or Killigog if it starts to hurt you more than help. You could Mollymawk to fix that problem. That seems pretty cool. 2 of those. All right. And then we have Mookling, which is a 2-power beast that says your opponent's keys cost plus X, where X is Mookling's power. I haven't seen a way to boost the power, so right now, so far, it's going to be stuck at 2, and that's not going to be great, but maybe we'll get some stuff I'm not thinking of. Ooh, 2 Mooklings. It'd be so nice if we had like a growth surge or something in here, but I don't think so. We do have the Fittest, which will boost them each to 3. It's an action with a bonus amber that says play, give each friendly creature a +1 power counter. Okay, that could be nice for a lot of things. You could also run away from the trench. That'd be cool. Youngest Bear is a 2-power beast with Reap. You may reap with one of Youngest Bear's neighbors. Do we have any great Reap effects in the other houses? I don't remember seeing any awesome Reap effects here. Yeah, the Tar, the Jackie Tar, that would be okay. But I think that's the only one. Interesting. And then our last card, another Youngest Bear. So yeah, this is interesting. 3, 4. How much amber do we have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 amber, and we can almost certainly steal with the urchins, making that 12. Probably gonna get some value out of the Kerwallop, but can't. Maybe we don't count that yet. So I think we'll probably end up with like 12 amber just from playing cards, maybe a little more, and need to reap a bit for this to be good. But there are options. I feel like the amber control is just going to be a little lacking because it depends a lot on that Archon's Revenge, and there's enough C in here. I don't know if that will fire very reliably. So I think this deck is okay. It's definitely interesting, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. But I don't think this is necessarily a great deck, but it seems interesting and fine. So we'll have to see how that works out. The Mollymocks are going to be nice to have. There's some good stuff. We'll see how that works out. So yeah, anyway, that was the Void that primarily spoils defense, and maybe it'll be better than I'm thinking. Maybe it'll be worse. Who knows? But it was Shadows Unfathomable and Untamed, and hope you enjoyed and that you'll get out and forge some keys.